on my own, almost glad to be alone until love came in on time, oh, on time. Loving is...
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Vegan Nirvana here, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I am doing a video on my conversion to witchcraft. A lot of you have been waiting to hear this video, and I've put it off for a while because obviously this is something controversial. It ties into religious beliefs and things like that, and it can be a touchy subject, so it's taken me a while to come around to it, and I'm finally going to explain to you guys what my conversion was like from Christianity to witchcraft, because I was actually brought up as a Christian. I was super godly at one point in time. Yeah, so if you guys want to hear that, please keep watching. Before I start, I want to show you guys my new pendant my grandma got me. It's labradorite. I think I mentioned that I was going to be getting this for Christmas in my last video, but literally look at that. That is so beautiful. Labradorite is my all-time favorite crystal, so I was pretty pleased. So when I was a little girl, around 9 or so, I'm pretty sure it was 9, that's when we started being pushed to go to church. The thing is, I was raised Christian, so in my mind, you know, my entire life I've been told, you know, God is real, God is love, like, you know, worship God and you'll go to heaven. That's what I was told my entire life. You know, I literally went to church. My family, I don't have preachers in my family or anything like that. We were all just pretty much churchy people and godly people. Well, you know, my entire childhood I was told to follow this religion or I'd go to hell, or you know, God would punish me and stuff like that. And I don't know, I believed it for a very long time. It did resonate with my life for a while, and there's nothing wrong with the Christian community. Of course, every religion has their flaws. Every religion has people in the religion that have flaws, that aren't really good people, but that stands for everything. So a thing with witchcraft is, you know, a lot of people have always been told that it's like Satanism and that you're worshiping Satan. You know, as a kid, I was always told any form of magic was bad. That was on my mom's side. My dad, on the other hand, was super encouraging when it came to magic. I have family members who have practiced witchcraft and who are witches, or, you know, were witches before they passed. I'm sure a lot of you younger people understand, because, you know, when you're younger, it's hard to follow a path that you want to follow when you're being told that, you know, you're gonna burn for eternity if you don't follow that religion. So, you know, when I was being brought up on this religion, you know, I just sort of went along with what I was told, you know. Practice reading the Bible, pray to God every day. If you don't, you know, you'll burn in hell and things like that. Please don't mind my bangs, by the way. I tried to, like, wand them to do this updo hairstyle, and it was so cute, but it just didn't feel like me. So I put my hair back down. But anyways, yeah, so it's basically more so I just felt pressured. I felt like I had to follow that religion whether I wanted to or not. And so I did. I'm sure a ton of you understand what it's like. I mean, we're all raised on a religion that our parents follow. It's just something that you're sort of, it's inevitable. You don't really get the choice to believe in what you want until you reach an age where, you know, your parents aren't going to scold you, or, you know, you're not going to get in trouble for doing certain things like that. And it took a while. It took some years. You know, my mom was really strict when we were kids, and it was always, oh, if you do this, you know, you're a sinner, God's gonna punish you, he's gonna strike you down, things like that. And I always questioned that. Not always. I mean, for a while when I was a kid, you know, I was pretty gullible. I went along with everything, and I believed in everything. And I'm not saying that those things aren't real. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that the Christian religion is false. I believe that there's truth to every religion. I believe that every religion all sort of ties back to the same idea. A higher power, source, God, Allah, you know, Jehovah, whoever you call him, whatever you call him. I believe that it all ties back to the same belief, you know, that there's a big guy up there who created us all. That's what I was always told. And the older I got, the more I noticed certain things happening, the more things were changing, the more knowledge I acquired. I just feel like I wanted to know more. I wanted to explore. I wanted to have my own insight and perspective on things, and I knew it was time. It was time. So as I was introduced to witchcraft is something that's always been in my life. I've always believed in magic. I've always had a pull to it. I've always wanted to do witchcraft, but I was always terrified. For years I was terrified, and it was so much years wasted of knowledge that I could have acquired just taking that leap and practicing. But you're instilled this idea in your mind for so long when you're young that you truly believe it. And so every time I felt the pull to practice my magic, something told me, oh, you're gonna go to hell, it's evil magic, Satan's gonna get you. All the things that they brainwash you with, pretty much. I don't want to come off insensitive in this. I do not want to come off insensitive because I was born and raised as Christian. That was my life for years. For years, it was my life. I believed in every aspect of it. I practiced the way I should. I prayed every night. Hell, I still pray. I don't even follow the Christian religion, and I still pray every night to my source, my God, my deity. I have my beliefs, and I do believe in a higher power. But I'm not going to get into my background of my beliefs when it comes to Wicca and witchcraft because it's my own beliefs, and every witch has their own practice. Everyone has different beliefs and views, and I'm Wiccan, so for my path, with paganism is more of a strict path. With Wicca, it's sort of like, as an eclectic and hedge witch, I actually sort of I incorporate different religions, if you will, in my practice. I don't really have a strict path. I am Wiccan and I identify as Wiccan, but it's not, in my mind, it's not a religion. It's more so a faith, the Wicca faith, to where I can incorporate my own beliefs in it. And that's the beauty of Wicca, is that the Wicca faith or religion, or whatever you'd like to call it, is pretty much like an open book. It's the most open religion. You can be a Christian and be Wiccan. You can take bits and pieces from your practice and incorporate them into witchcraft. Witches aren't Satan worshippers. Witches don't even believe in Satan, for that matter. Some do. That's because they choose Satanism. Satanism and witchcraft are two different things. Witchcraft is basically manipulating energy in order to manifest things. Satanism, you're worshiping Satan. Two completely different things. Witches don't believe in Satan because Satan is part of the Christian religion, and witches don't believe in the Christian religion. They follow their own path. They follow their deities. And there are Wiccans who are Christian Wiccans who do their magic through God. And it was pretty hard on me growing up, being told every time I felt that pull, I wanted to do magic. I wanted to feel like myself. And every time I felt that pull, the voice in the back of my head, my parents telling me, that's wrong, you're gonna go to hell, things like that. It really destroyed what could have been created back then. I wasted so much of my talent back then. Everyone is given a gift. This part right here is my own opinion, but everyone is given a gift, and I think that we should all use it. And I know that the Christian religion tells you that, not to practice magic, and that anyone who practices magic is going to hell and things like that. It's all a ploy. It's just a lie to keep us from reaching our fullest potential. God wouldn't give us these gifts if he didn't want us to use them. The Bible mentions healers and things like that. Healers, people who use magic, people who can heal. And the thing is, the thing with magic is it isn't how TV explains it. Hollywood has this whole perception of witches that they put on people. Everything they talk about when it comes to witches on movies and things like that is just so fake. It isn't real. They try to portray us in a way that makes us look bad, and it sickens me. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the shows are entertaining, but I just truly believe that the way they portray us is what's damaged the world so badly, because people don't take that leap of faith. People don't try to practice witchcraft because they're afraid, just like I was. And we shouldn't have to be afraid to reach our fullest potential. So as a kid, my parents practiced the Christian religion, and I was just always afraid to be myself. I was always afraid to follow the path I wanted to follow. The reason I want to share my story behind this is because I want to help anyone who wants to reach their fullest potential. We should be able to open that door if we want to. We shouldn't have to feel like we're afraid to reach our truest potential. Honestly, witchcraft has helped me align with myself more than I ever have been. And in my opinion, witchcraft has connected me to source more than Christianity ever did. Christianity felt wrong. It felt evil. For those of you who don't know, the Christian religion is literally a washed up version of paganism. Every single one of your holidays, Christmas, all of that, those aren't even real holidays. Those are names given by the Christian religion. They completely took our paganism and warped it into their own religion in order to keep people from practicing the religion that helps them discover their true abilities. They want to suppress that. They don't want us to find out, how powerful we are. And don't get me wrong, some Christians are absolutely amazing. I've met so many Christians. My mom and my twin sister, especially my twin sister, are huge Christians. They still tell me to this day, oh, you're practicing magic, it's wrong. But deep down, my twin sister knows she has abilities. She knows she's a healer. She says, through God, I'm a healer. I have family who are Christians. I have nothing against the Christian religion. I love Christians. Christians can be absolutely beautiful, but they can also be bad. Just like I say in every religion, there are bad people and there are the good people. But yeah, so as I got older, I got into middle school. Middle school is where it began. When I reached 8th grade, when I hit 13, that summer after 8th grade, when I was going to high school, I went through some things that I felt I needed. I needed to connect with myself more. I needed to be myself again. I felt like that had been taken from me, and I wanted to be myself again. So I did a little research, and I had this awakening after I had met someone, and that person, they brought so much light into my life. They changed my life. They changed my perspective on everything. They had awakened me, and that's what I needed. It was one of my exes. I'm not going to bring up his name just because I don't know. I mean, it's a respect thing, I guess. Maybe I don't know if he'd want me to bring up his name. But a guy I used to date introduced me to a life of alignment. Mind you, the life he introduced me to didn't have anything to do with witchcraft, but it was where everything began. He awakened something in me. And I'm going to say this now. My dad has always been supportive of magic. My dad has always been a magical man. He's a warlock. He likes to call himself a warlock. He's funny, but he's a magical man, and he's always believed in love and the power of nature and all of those good things. So, I mean, I've always had the background of magic and love in my life. I just was afraid to embrace it because of my mom and the Christian side, which, mind you, my mom, even though she was a Christian, even though she is a Christian, she's still alive. Even though she's a Christian, she had a friend, and his name was J.O., and I love J.O. He was, awesome. When we were kids, he sort of left that spark in me. He was also another person who contributed to my magical journey because he literally, he's the real MVP. He knows it all. He is a witch to the bone. He's teaching his daughters to be witches, and I think it's freaking awesome, and I'm proud of him, but he was the light in my mom's life. He opened my mom's eyes to a lot of things, because don't get me wrong, my mom believes in that stuff. She believes in it, but she's also afraid of it. She was at the point I was when I was younger. Sometimes when we talk about it, it's great because we have great debates and conversations about certain things that tie into her religion and Christianity, and it really helps to talk to her honestly, because then it gives me more insight on her perspective of things, and it gives her insight on mine, and we have those conversations every now and then. Of course, I have family who, they're still so godly and they don't want me to do anything like that, but they understand and they've accepted me for that, and some of them encourage me. What's important is that I'm finally in a practice and a faith that accepts me for me and makes me feel more connected to myself than I ever have been. Not just to myself, but to the people around me, my family. I feel love through everyone, and I'm grateful for that. Witchcraft has changed my life tremendously. When I was in the Christian faith, I just was always miserable. Things were going horrible in my life. But since, I've been practicing witchcraft for a good 6 years now. Basically, I've never felt more aligned with myself. As a kid, I was so afraid. It took years to take that step. Years. And you know what? I took that leap of faith. I am so grateful because following nature and the path of Mother Earth and Gaia and things like that, I feel has really connected me with my true self, and I feel like I finally have a purpose. My life has been a bit stressful right now, but that's because of events that are happening personally, and things have been tough. My faith gets me through that. It gets me through knowing that somehow I can change things. I can make things better if I really need them to be. My advice to you is to take that leap. Take that leap of faith, because if you don't, you'll always regret it. You'll never find the true you. You'll never find your truest potential. You won't reach that. If you are afraid in any way, just know that you don't have to be afraid. You need to reach within yourself and really ask yourself, is this power that's calling to me right? Is this what I need? The witch faith isn't for everyone, you know. Some people can't handle it because they don't understand. Some people don't want to take the time to learn. And when it comes to witchcraft, it's a never-ending journey. Just like when you're learning Christianity, you know, it seems there's always more to learn. Witchcraft is the same. No matter what religion you have practiced, you've done magic. When you pray, you're doing magic. Our form of magic, the real form of magic, that isn't portrayed like the way Hollywood portrays it, our magic is literally the same as your praying. We are literally just manifesting things mentally. The only thing different that we do is we use crystals, herbs, you know, the elements of the earth, things like that, to help manipulate, because nature is a part of earth, and the natural energies, you know, in our atmosphere, nature helps manipulate that. And, you know, the energy from crystals and things like that, we only use those in our practice because they just help boost our manifestation. There's so much simplicity to it that it would actually blow a lot of people's minds if they actually sat and took the time to learn what they didn't know all along. Be your true self, you know, don't be afraid anymore. It took me years, and I have never been more thankful. Never been more thankful. The thing about the witch community is that we accept everyone. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, lesbian. We accept everyone. We love all. In the witch community, you're not going to hell if you have the same sex love. Why? Because in all reality, it's not wrong. Whether Christians make us believe that or not. Now, again, quick disclaimer, there's nothing against the Christian religion here. I love all Christians. It's just I really had to explain my story. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to my story, and thanks for tuning in today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below, and peace and love, man. Don't forget to keep spreading that lunar love.